it's me again. So, this is me talking to you, and I'm talking to you trying to reach a deeper level with you. And I don't know if you can hear me because you sounded very angry and upset at me for the things that I said last week to you. And so, like I said, I listened to you, okay? And when you said, who am I talking to? Am I talking to Ralph? So I went through my gallery of my telephone, and I sent you another file, which you should have, and which you've probably seen. And this kind of goes with those photos. So you can see the broken teeth that I had. Okay, this side, broken. This side, broken. See? Suffered. Okay. My mother having no teeth and having to go through that every day. My father doing all the same crazy things that he did at the house, like going through it all and seeing it on a very straightforward, deep level in that little tiny space. That's why I said that I had been through the crucible. And I'm trying to explain this to you. Not excuse myself. Not... I'm trying to explain where I had been. And I got to the other side of it. And then I reached out, wanting to talk to you, thinking perhaps I could talk to you. And also, mind you, all of this is happening while Trump's election is going on, while all that other darkness was happening. Okay? So a lot of stuff was happening. And again, it's not an excuse, but a way to try to show you, using this medium, what I have very recently been through and been going through. And I thought that I got to the other side. And then that's when I reached out to you. And I thought maybe we could reach out and talk a little bit. And our first talk was great. And we did well, we both tried. And then we fastly got caught up in so many different things. And very quickly pressed each other's buttons. And I said a lot of very ugly things to you. And I'm sorry. But you see, this is the thing. I listened to you. Okay? Just when you said this recently, just driving before, I listened to what you said. And I took that key word and I let you see my parents and how bad these things affected me and how deeply. And how I had to make progress and get through all of this without letting these things upset me. And with that being said, you still upset me. You still affect me greatly. And that's because I fell for you very hard. Okay? And I love you a whole lot. Okay? And I got through all of this stuff, all those pictures, and I reached out to you, and it was so good to hear from you, you know? And it just, felt nice. And then at the end of your talking to me, it was like you caught yourself, and then you went, oh, wait, I'm not going to see you. And getting through the things that I did, reaching out to you like I did, looking for you, hoping to hear from you. And I'm just as sensitive as you are. And again, it's not an excuse on anything, but I see that I'm very sensitive like you are, and I overreact because I'm vulnerable to you. Okay? I am very sorry for hurting you, or using bad language, or calling you names, belittling you, any of these things. And you see, this is why I am trying to talk with you and use this medium, plus the photographs, to show you just that's small. Each photo has a story to it. And they run so deep. And I know you resent me for hurting you and lying to you. And I keyed in on what you said about being possessed. And I think in very real ways, you could call it being possessed. Because I had been experienced through that ugliness my entire life and exposed to it my entire life. And the only way I had known how to react to that my entire life was anger, to cover up the hurt, to cover up the loneliness, to cover up the lack of love. And yeah, you're right, to be cautious with me. But there's so much to share with you. It's like I went through my files and, I could show you work I've did since like 2009. Things, I've been working on myself deeply and in several ways. And just because I knew things were still not correct within me. Okay? And so going back, most of it, if not 99%, came from my mother and father consistently, every day. And it kept hitting me and beating me up every day. Okay? And again, not an excuse, but I'm trying to explain. Probably doing it very poorly. And yes, when I met you, you were very beautiful and you helped me. And I was lost without you. And I liked you very deeply, very much. I smiled and lit up with you. And all the darkness, it still had been ever present, coming back out. And again, not an excuse, But, and it didn't seem like I could get rid of it or shed it. And what I was doing was improper. And it was very frustrating for me. Okay? The same things that plagued me and you had been with me pretty much my entire life. Pretty much my entire life. And the light bulb goes on. The anger, light bulb goes on. So much imprinted onto me from my father, expressed and unexpressed. It's ridiculous. I'm purging this ugliness, this darkness. It's been my biggest thing because, I recognized after being with you, I was just like, wow. Seriously. And probably that was the first thing I projected when I first saw you, because I was just like, wow, over heels for you. And very egoistic at the time, for certain. And what happened? We met because I know you were saying you felt hurt by me, and we met. And again, so much of this rooted into that being possessed, In Jungian terms, it's called being controlled by a complex. And literally they say, when it takes over basically your thinking. And to some extremes, it's a ego identity of sorts. And for so much of my life, I've been breaking through the ego identity I had to form to protect myself in relation to my parents, which was a fake me, not a nice person me. And the magnitude of the fighting that I had to endure and the suffering was tremendous. Tremendous. Okay? And again, it's not an excuse. I just hope you could forgive me for being such a bad person to you. Ugly person to you. I did not react well at all. And all the ugliness and hatred and bitterness that came out of me, I had an excuse to tell you the truth. But I did it unkindly because I was hurt at the thought of never being able to see you, And somewhere, see, this is a good one, right? Somewhere deep down, that hurts me. And you're like, because you said something to me. You said, oh, well, if you, meaning you, gave in, quote unquote, or, came to see me, you would be giving in. Or what was it? Or winning or something, You put it in such a framework that I was like, or I would be getting my way. That's my feet shuffling around. And I thought to myself, getting my way. I suppose what I was trying to convey to you is I've been around people that have tested me to such a degree that it's been really difficult for me to maintain myself. Okay? Difficult, not impossible. And with that said, when you told me, it hurt me a lot. It hurt me a lot. And again, it's not an excuse. It just shows that I have work to do. But how do I do that? That one's a mystery for me, because literally you're telling me, hey, I'm not seeing you. I suppose I should just feel the hurt, forgive you, forgive myself, and understand the hurt that I caused you. And that's hard to do. That's very hard. For the longest time, it didn't register with me. And I know you told me. I know you told me a lot. I didn't want to see it because I had no way out from inside, and I felt trapped between you and my parents. Knowing that I was living a false identity with myself because I was living in such close proximity to my parents, having to react to them all the time, every day, always fighting, wears on you. Having to face that. Trying to turn grapes into wine, lead into gold. I stayed because I realized that every human being have parents, and unless your parents are like really good, they go through some version of what I went through and had been going through. Entire works of philosophy and psychology and religion even is built on this one little whoopsie daisy, starting with Adam and Eve, then passing down the whole generation to generation thing till today. So yeah, I felt it important work to do. And it nearly killed me a couple times. The scar, that's from it. This scar, let me see. No. Let's see, this scar. Right there. I think you could see it. Right there. Let's see if I can tilt it. There you go. This scar right here. From here to here. Okay, so that was something. So that, yeah, so these are the things I suffered through for like 30 some years. And it runs deep, these things. Because of what I've gone through, on a deep personal level, which I don't think many people ever have at all. I'll be able to help people in a meaningful way. Help people help themselves. That's the most important, because people can only help themselves as much as they want to face the things that they find uncomfortable inside of them. And I can tell you, I've been through some pretty big uncomfort. Okay? Big uncomfort. And I try to get through it the best I can. With God. With God's help, definitely. I listened to Charles Stanley, I can't even tell you how many times. I have his series and keep listening and applying it to myself. And I hope you can, hear me, okay? Because I'm talking to you, that I hear you, that I hurt you, that I pissed you off. And I hear you, okay? And again, not an excuse for my behavior. I got through all of this stuff, and I got elated. I got a false sense of hope, which I should not have had. And then I felt the hope that was given to me was taken away, and it hurt me. And I felt weird the entire week. See, I let you have feelings inside of me, and so I feel things. And instead of facing why things were weird and why you said what you said, instead of facing that deepness in me, the darkness in me, or why you still feel that you're not safe around me, or why you can't trust me, or what other, I'd say those are the two crucial things. Of course, I did catch that you said you wanted to ask me a few questions because you felt that I had not said some things. I heard that. You can ask me questions. Again, not an excuse. Okay? You resent me, and I heard the resentment in your voice. I heard the hurt in your voice. I heard the anger in your voice, the pissed offness and fuck you, man, in your voice. And that's not what I wanted to hear in your voice. And all of that was a result of me lashing out at you. Being possessed. Again, not an excuse. But I was talking at you, and I was just la 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 la. And I see that. And I recognize that. I love you and I do respect you. Okay? And I believe you with Christ. because Christ has been helping me tremendously, tremendously. No, I'm never nowhere near where you are. And I need to learn more. And I see that too. Good thing I brought 2 Bibles with me. Okay. I don't know what to say, because if you're right now listening to me and you're angry, I don't know what to do, or if there's anything I can do. Because of how bad I've treated you. And you just told me, fuck you, basically. And that's not the kind of fuck you I wanted to do with you. Okay? No. Little something else. I didn't want you to run away. Okay? And I know you're saying, well, you're not running away. And I believe you if you say so. But it feels like running away to me. But I don't want to hurt you. Okay? Not at all. That's why I said, if I could be away from my parents, you could actually see me, who I am. I'm actually a pretty nice guy, really getting finally back to me. And I could not have gotten here without you, without your love, without your help. The only thing is, I'm trying to talk with you and let you know, hey, I'm listening to you. Not here where I'm an asshole, I'm a bad person. Just like that, using the bad language. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean that in, if you have to express yourself using bad language, something's up with that. And you don't need to do that, nor does anybody. Except in very rare occasions. So, I've been talking for a long time. I've been up for about 18 hours, I'd say. I have to wake up and do another day like this tomorrow because we have to drive back tomorrow. You see, this is where we litigate the past, and I don't want to litigate the past with you because I was irredeemably not a good person. And I see that. Okay? I see that. And maybe I'll be not redeemable to you. But I've been striving, okay? You have no idea the effects that you have on me. But then again, I think you do. And there's a little evilness inside of you that goes, well, and you're justified. And that makes your actions that much more righteous. And I see that. And I understand that. because you're operating at very high levels. Okay? And I didn't know how to miss you. And you're right. I should have trusted in the higher plan of God. And I felt hurt. And I shouldn't have. And I messed up again. And I should have just trusted in God. And let it go and not be angry. And let you go and not be angry. And you're right, I had a very big chip on my shoulder. And I was very angry at the world. You know, I wanted to be a better person and be a better person with you. And I suppose that's a bridge too far. And I really want to be with you. Okay? That's how much I really do love you, like you. Not love bombing, you know, just like really did like you. Really do like you. But I had recognized things and, you know, the old stuff is here. And I don't know what to say to you about these things. Except I've recognized what you're talking about. It's been very difficult for me to understand and see how ugly I've been. And try to undo these things within inside of me. And I did not have the capacity to protect myself because of in relation to what I was grown up with. You see those pictures I sent you when I was a child? Take a close look at my eyes. They're very big, the insides. That's because I saw a lot as a kid. When you get exposed a lot, you see your eyes get really big. And it's actually almost documented. So like you, yeah. And I had fear with me my entire life. And I've been afraid my entire life because the fears that my parents kept passing down onto me. And the one time that I went out to try to do something, I ended up in jail. Yeah. So that tells you how bad the influences were for me. The uglinesses. Okay? Well, I'm going on because none of this is helping you. There really isn't much more I can say except that I love you. I'm not here to hurt you. And I understand you resent me. And I wish you would not resent me and could let go of your resentment towards me. Please do not resent the actions that I took. That offended you. Please forgive me. Okay? That has been my, after we had that big to-do last week, I was sick for the entire week. Literally laid in bed. So it felt like that possession came out of me. Maybe it went into you. Maybe I said so many ugly things that I pissed you off permanently. And that's quite possible. Because I said very ugly, hateful, spiteful things, mean things. In the guise of telling you the truth. I'm sorry for hurting you that way. Okay? Because, I became the victim. And I used my being a victim, my reason for lashing out. We do that to each other. You are now the victim also. And you're using that as the reason for not seeing me anymore. So I become the victim and you become the victim. And we use that as the rationale for us to make things worse. And no, I'm not calling you out. I'm just seeing what's happening between us. And I'm trying to put the brakes on it. I'm trying to talk to you. But this is something that I know about you. When you're angry, when you're upset, it's difficult to reach through and talk to you. And that means I hurt you. And I'm really sorry for that. And again, it's not an excuse. And I fucked it up. And I did not want to fuck it up with you. No, I did not. Because you sounded really good. And that gave me hope. It was delightful to talk with you. And then when I realized, bringing up the histories in the past and all of this stuff, we never got a chance to talk about these things, you and I. Never to talk about these things openly and just talk about them the way probably you and I should and let it go appropriately without bad language. That's why I had that weird idea of meeting you and actually talking to you for a couple days and just smoking some and sitting there and talking. Yeah. See, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting my way. You're leaving. I believe when you get upset, you leave. When I get upset, I lash out. And my talking to you is not lashing at you. It's just as you talk to me. And I'm trying to do it in love and say, hey, these are the things I see. may be true, may not be. And having a real relationship means that we can talk to each other softly, gently, and without feeling attacked. That would be a loving environment. And I have failed to provide a loving environment for you. And I see that. And I wanted to have a loving environment with you. Okay. This is getting long. I have to go to sleep. And those are the pictures I sent along with this video. I'll send both, and hopefully you get a chance to look at them. And this is, you can look at those pictures, especially the ones of the RV that are kind of close, and shows how small this is. And you heard how bad it had been with my parents all these years. And imagine it being that close and that approximate. And I know you probably can't imagine it. And me going through what I went through. It was a lot. And again, it's not an excuse. So, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to God, like I should have in the first place, and let go of all of this. And tell you that I love you. I love you more than anybody that I've ever known. That's how much I love you. That much. Have a good day. Good night.